against the Afri-Forum based on what they have done. You recall that there is an executive order which Donald Trump, the American president, has now issued against South Africa following the intervention that was made by the Afri-Forum. That's just by way of background. We have just opened a criminal case against Afri-Forum because we want them to be prosecuted.
Good day everyone, and I welcome you to join me. So the MK party have decided to open a criminal case against Afri-Forum, a case of treason. They said that they went against our leaders. This comes after the Afri-Forum has consulted and invited the US President Donald Trump and Elon Musk to intervene and to say that they must deal with South Africa. As a result, that led to South Africa to get sanctions from the USA. So there's some aid that Americans just hold it, and some money that are no longer released to assist South Africa. So now many organizations came out and called out AfriForum about their action. It seems like they went back and or they promised to go back and to say that they will talk with the US leaders, Donald Trump, to say that no, in fact, we don't want you to sanction the entire country and to make a lot of people to suffer, but you want you to target specifically the ANC leaders. They are the ones that are pushing these policies. So after this, all of what was happening, so Donald Trump, we know that he gave them an asylum to call them to come, and that he will give them immigration status there in America. But now they refuse when Donald Trump called them to say, come to America, I will give you some accommodation. They refuse. So when they refuse, they say, no, we are fine here, just to show that all their claims and what the information they gave to the US leaders were just false and there was no truth in it. So the MK party is taking them to court, and they will be following up on what is happening on that. On the other hand, this reminded me of the CIC. There's something that the CIC said about AfriForum. It was given as a warning, but many of us, we became so ignorant. Let us watch the video here.
If we take over government, we're going to ban AfriForum because we cannot have an organization that advocates purely racial hatred and say it is a legitimate organization. Our constitution does not allow that. And therefore, we need a decisive government that is going to say this is a terrorist organization and we can't coexist with it. It has to fall. So AfriForum will fall because it represents backwardness. And the ANC's inability to deal with white supremacy and white arrogance is what gives life to this kind of organization. I mean,
so the CIC did warn us and told us that this group is a terrorist group, and once the EFF can come to power, he will shut this organization down, AfriForum, because they are racist and they are biased. They are pushing the agenda that is based on falsehood. That is AfriForum, and the CIC did declare that he will shut them down. He saw this long ago. That is why many things that the CIC says, you must listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. It's not what he said manifesting about the AfriForum. AfriForum has now matured. It is disastrous. It has become a terrorist group that is advocating for law, for justice, for who? They've lied and called another state to come and attack their own government. And they are against and hate ANC leaders. Just for simple policies that were implemented to accommodate everyone equally. So they are angry now. They are up in arms and they are calling for backup, which is the USA. That is a terrorist organization. So the MK party is taking you to court. And I just so wish that also other progressive black consciousness group, they take this very seriously and they deal with AfriForum, because they don't need an organization that will make people to lose their jobs, to suffer because of some gossip that they spread to the US, so that create some sanctions against people. Because when the US closes the tab, there are many people who will suffer here because of a propaganda and gossip that is called by AfriForum, right? So they need to be charged, they need to be followed up, and they need to be held accountable for what they have done. I'm so happy, and we'll be following on what is happening next. Big up to MK Party and big up to the EFF and other leaders who are also opposing these agenda of AfriForum, because you remember the EFF gave a 4-page letter pointing out why the mistake and the misdeeds of AfriForum, right? And if now you want to understand this, why the USA responded as they did, you will even think the USA maybe responded to help AfriForum, right? Maybe they want to help them because of Elon Musk. He has his own origin here in South Africa. Maybe Elon Musk is whispering and directing Trump on what to do, what his next move is. But America has a bigger agenda than that. Do you want to know why America responded like this? Let us watch this video that exposes here.
This was not about land. This whole thing that happened from the US was not sparked off by him signing in this country the land. I'm telling you what was the crescendo that was building up to this massive orchestra piece. One, it was the race-based laws. Second, Donald Trump has previously also attacked our BEE law as being unfair and prejudiced. So BEE. Number 3, the fact that South Africa, the almighty South African ANC, went to the International Crime Court and laid a formidable charge of merely genocide to the point against Israel. Point 3. Number 4, they go and sign laws, and 3 of them incumbent, 1 not, but other 2. The Bella Act, again, Afrikaner. Number 2, the EWC, the land without compensation, and then the stump at NHI. Chris, can you now see what is the facts that built up to this point where Donald Trump turned around and being whispered, I'm sure, in the ear by Elon Musk, by telling him, but by the way, also not that they all make up a stuff up of this trifle, Donald, but when I wanted to bring better internet, better connectivity through Starlink, I was told that I can bring in, but I have to give away a proportion of my company to the unfair race-based BEE law. Make no mistake, hy druk hy skroefie in. So you are sitting there, Marcus Rubio getting up and going, well, as the new Secretary of State, Foreign Affairs, the hell with him. And I'm also not going to attend the G20 because Cyril Ramaphosa is currently also going to chair. Chris, there you have it. A litany of small detonations on a string of pearls of a big dynamite bomb. And now, ultimately, and I'll tell you this, because I know from the ground, no one expected the last detonation of a pure and final executive order 2 days ago from Donald Trump, because you remember the previous discussion was he was standing at the foot of his airplane, Air Force One, and just made a comment where he was said, are you going to bring out sanctions to Africa? And he said, no, South Africa. He then spoke about the bad things that are being done here, etc. But at that stage, Chris, he did not sign a document yet of what he did 2 days ago. He cut off certain relief funding, and you will remember that was approximately 8 billion rand 435 million US, and that was for antiretroviral drugs to support the people in this country that have HIV/AIDS. That was just what he cut and said that would go under investigation, Chris. And 2 days later, he signs now a very poignant executive order cutting all support and relief to the Republic of South Africa.
I hope this video was so clear and that mist or cloud of confusion was just wiped out. Now you are clear why America is responding. It's because of the case that South Africa put to the International Court against Israel, Israel committing genocide in Palestine, right? And there are some there's some other agendas about South Africa being a part of BRICS nations and allegations that they are working with Iran and so forth. All these are anti-West, anti-NATO, anti-USA countries. So now if these countries, they come together and they show unity to America, that's a threat. And America, they will just find just a piece of thing, a piece of clock or a needle, just to make it their strong point to attack any country. So now they have their reasons, they've had their reasons, and they're coming for South Africa. They've been planning for far too long, for years, on how are they going to take on South Africa and challenge it through sanctions, even through wars. They can cause wars because they are so capable of doing things like that. But now our political parties here, they will need to unite than ever before. They will need to come together and to be strong, right? Unfortunately, EFF and the MK, they are just now enemies today. But if they will just find their common ground and come together and now fight this system collectively, including the ANC, right? And put this thing, this ideology of putting everyone who's against the progressiveness of the country, put them aside, whether it's the DA or AfriForum or what is FF plus, put those things, AfriForum, put those things there, and you work united and you achieve the goal, right? And we know that the issues of land is a threat to organization like AfriForum, but we need more than to talk land. We need more. That's why we need these politicians to find closure for them to work together. But now you'll understand that why now the likes of the Open Hamas, they are funding all these political parties, because they know that if they are funding these political parties to be there, pushing their different portions, that they will not make a force. They will not be strong as a unity. So weakness will always be the outcome, because now if you are having 2%, 3%, 1%, you can't fight with 60%, 40%. You can't, right? For you to make that big number, you need to come together. But now, white people who are controlling South Africa, they are busy funding political parties. So that no, remain like that. Don't come together with those and remain like that. We're giving you a lot of money. So that is what is killing us. As long as there's money, the unity we will not see, because people are out to serve their own pockets and their stomachs and their families, right? But for now, those who love black people, they were supposed to sacrifice by all means necessarily, because the war is not only with AfriForum, it's not only with maybe the DA or the business who are pushing the GNU, but the war now is international. And when it is like that, it has become a threat that is more dangerous than ever before. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. But let us unite. You can press the subscribe button and you can leave a comment on the section below, and we will meet on the next video. And I'm out.